Hey everyone, it's your boy Christopher Loki Collins again. I don't know why, but I've got like a lot of things that I wanted to cover on like videos today. Sorry, I had to wipe off my camera. On like videos today, and I pretty much just sharing my thoughts with everybody as well as my transition. Um, so just bear with me, I guess. One of the things that I didn't get to cover in my last two videos before I start on the other reason why I started this video, is I just want to encourage people to ask questions. Like, if you guys have questions to ask me, please post them as, like, on the comment section, or even send them to my inbox here on YouTube, because I'd be more than willing to answer any questions that any of you have. Also, feel free to leave comments if you want. You guys already know my rule. As long as they're not negative and hateful, then we're cool. So, and I don't think I really have to worry about that because of the people who do check out my profile. I'm sure that that's the last thing they want to do is be hateful and mean. So, and I am more than willing to answer you guys' questions in another video, just so you guys can get your answers.
Or just a reply, depending on how personal it is.
Yeah, or in just a reply, like my fiance said, depending on how personal it is. With that said, that's pretty much all I had to say on that. So, yes, one of many things that have been random thoughts of mine of, okay, I am a big, well, now my fiance too, because it's like every night our, like, routine is to watch some Law and Order SVU after, like, the day ends. And, like, the last few nights, that's pretty much all we watch. With the exception of maybe one stupid movie here and there. And I think it was, like, probably not in a complete sober state of mind when I did this, when I had this thought process. But I pretty much kind of, like, turned to my fiance and I was like, I've come to the, like, realization that media is great, but it's also got its downfalls. But at the same time, I'm kind of torn on that one because I also think that there's too much blame put on media and entertainment when it comes to certain crimes that are committed by people, especially teenagers. I'm sorry, but we are all born with a brain, and we all can make our own decisions. So when people, well, most of us who are not born with any kind of disorder that can keep them from making their own decisions and knowing right from wrong, I don't think that it's fair to blame entertainment, and I don't think it's fair to blame media, because honestly, I mean, I watch horror films, and I watch gory films, and I watch true crime TV shows and true crime movies. Shit, I even read true crime books. I listen to Marilyn Manson. I listen to Korn. I listen to Eminem, which, you know, everybody knows that he's always some weird debate. And I haven't gone out and killed anybody, or I haven't gone out and raped anybody, or I haven't gone out and just beat the crap out of anybody just because I got nothing better to do. And so, in my opinion, it's bullshit to blame entertainment for the lack of people making the right decisions in their lives. You know, you have to stop and think that a lot of these people have also had other things happen in their background. You know, some of them have probably been abused, some of them have probably been raped, some of them have probably been molested, some of them have probably been violently beaten for no reason, and just something in them snapped. What? Are completely ignored, and it's the only way they can get attention, and unfortunately it's a negative way of doing it, but hey, they get the attention, right? You know, we all go through shit in our lives. We've all had bad things, we've all had good things. It's part of fucking nature, you know? And to use entertainment as a scapegoat for why people do the things they do it just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. But at the same time, I can also kind of understand where they're coming from on that aspect, which goes back to what I was trying to say. Like, for example, there are so many things out there in this world that pertain to bad things that have happened. You have books upon books about serial killers or just books about violence in general. You have many movies and TV shows about violence in general and music and all of that. So I mean, it is, if somebody's kind of like cuckoo and out there, it is possible that they could be influenced to an extent by this stuff. Now, at the same time, I'm going with all the crime shows we have on TV nowadays, and there are so many. There are so many versions of Law and Order. It's insane. And Law and Order's been around for like fucking ever, And then you've got, Dexter, which has to do with this guy who's a serial killer, but he also works for forensics, so he knows how to kill and not get caught because he knows how to clean up his mess and what they're looking for and all that lovely great shit. And people watch it. I don't watch it, but people watch it. And I started thinking one day is that it wouldn't be entirely surprising if one day there was some notorious serial killer out there who never got caught, kind of like Jack the Ripper. Nobody knows who the fuck Jack the Ripper is, and somehow he was good at covering his tracks, even though he was so vicious and violent about it, and he never got caught. But that's all the way in England. Who knows? Whatever. I don't know their legal system over there, so I'm not sure how it works.
But it was also like a bazillion years ago,
That
so
too.
Forensics is completely different.
That is true. But nowadays, with the advances of technology, it wouldn't be that hard, I guess you could say. I hope it never happens. I really do. I hope that there will never be a day where there's somebody who could go off the deep end and go on a killing rampage and not get caught for it. I hope that day never happens. But if it did happen, I don't think I'd be too surprised. Because if you look at the shows that we got nowadays, if you look at shows like Law & Order SVU, for example, and Dexter, you kind of you get to see the things that people forget to cover, in order to keep their asses from getting caught. So is it possible that somebody could take all these things that they learned from these shows and these books on how all these people got caught and make sure that they do everything differently so that they don't get caught? Yes, it is very possible. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that that should be blamed on entertainment, because of the fact that it is in our nature as human beings to grow emotionally, mentally, and physically. Everything changes. Change is inevitable, plain and simple. And as time changes, we're seeing a lot of things. We're seeing that, for example, our youth are becoming sexually active at younger ages. Why? Because of some changes that are going on. A lot of schools right now don't teach sex ed because their people are so, I don't want my kids to learn about that from somebody else. But then if they don't learn from it from school and you're not talking to them about it, can you really get mad at them if they go out and they experiment and they have sex even though they don't know what they're doing? No, because you didn't educate them and you didn't let the school educate them. So, there's just a lot of things that go on in this world that doesn't make sense to me. Just I don't understand how people can relate gays getting married to bestiality and pedophilia. I mean, there's just this big, vast difference between all of those. And it's beyond my comprehension, the thought process of some people. But maybe that's because I am not, from my point of view, I don't think I'm a very judgmental person. I don't really judge people unless I'm given a reason. And I generally don't have issues with people unless I'm given a reason. I'm a very honest person. I will tell you what's going on and how I feel when I feel the time is appropriate. For example, I have a few websites that I've gone on and made profiles for so that I can meet new friends. And I don't blast on my profile that I'm a transgendered male, because I feel like that's something that's better talked to with the person privately. A lot of people go all on those sites and see that information, and the last thing I need is a bunch of fucktards being mean and hateful on there, because that's just a bunch of crap that I don't want to have to deal with. But if I meet up with these people and I hang out with these people, yes, I'll be honest with them and I'll tell them the truth, because I feel like that's the right thing to do. It gives them the choice about whether they want to be friends with me or not, instead of being friends with me, then finding out and then being like, oh shit, now I don't want to be your friend because I'm totally against that. Like, I don't want to put them through that, and I don't want to put myself through that. I'm sorry, I just have a lot going on in my head, so I'm just kind of spitting it out right now. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I really have this big issue with the fact, like I said before, that violence is blamed on entertainment and on television. I remember watching Bowling for Columbine, and I was listening to Marilyn Manson way before that. But I will tell you this, that man is smart, and he's amazing. And when they did the interview with him towards the end of that movie, he made some really good points. This guy's like, yes, on stage he's out there and just everything crazy, wild, whatever. But once you get him off stage, this guy's smart, and he's very introverted, kind of sticks to himself, whatever. But he's a smart guy, and he made some good points. That just because somebody may listen to his music does not mean that they're gonna automatically go out and kill. There's something else going on in their lives to push them to that point. And it's either the parents not listening to them or not being there for them, or their teachers not listening to them and not being there for them, or just something could be going on negatively at home that's affecting them and pushing them to the brink. This is for somebody who people want to constantly put blame on entertainment wise. This is the same guy who stayed away from the Columbine area when it happened. He's the one that sat there and was just like, out of respect for these families, I'm not gonna do a show there. And he didn't.
Scheduled to do one, and he canceled it.
Yeah, he was scheduled. That's what it was. He was scheduled to do one, and he canceled it because out of respect for those families and that situation. Where then you have, people, like the NRA, who are just like, well, guns don't kill people, people kill people. I'm going to quote something from one of the best comedians I've ever seen, Eddie Izzard. If people are saying guns don't kill people, people kill people, I think the gun helps. Like he said, you can't just go around and go boom, 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 and then people are going to die. It doesn't work that way, So, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the NRA, period. But that's just me, and that's my personal opinion. And, if you see this and you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's just freedom of speech, man. That's all I can say. Yes, I know my legal system a little bit because I took classes, so ha 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 ha.
Your door.
Yes, I know. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the day where instead of blaming what goes on in our society on entertainment and everybody else, I look forward to the day when our society starts looking inward and going, okay, well, what are we doing? What can we do differently to teach our children to be able to make the proper decisions, to not be violent, to not cross that line? Instead of looking at on the outside, look at yourselves. I know I'm not a parent, and I know being a parent must be the hardest thing on the planet. I'm not saying it's easy, but to be a good parent, it also means taking responsibility for your actions. It means that if you're the type of parent that's never there for your child, and then you need to change that. Because if you're not there for your child, to raise your child, and to set an example for your child, then, it is possible that bad things will happen. Either to them, or they'll do things that you wouldn't think they would have done. Just take responsibility. That's all I gotta say, is we all need to take responsibility for our actions. Just for the future of our youth, please try to pay more attention to what's going on around you and what's going on with your kids. When your kids are being bullied, they come and talk to you, just listen to them, because honestly, that'll do a world of greatness for them alone. That's pretty much all I had to say right now. That's all I wanted to get off my chest. I hope you all have a great day. I love all of you, and Christopher Loki is out. Later.